Yo, what up, what up? It's Rell in the building. Welcome to another episode of Network is My Net Worth. And yeah, we got a special one today. It's always special, y'all. It's always special. Man, we starting a little bit late, but it's all good. Man, y'all know we grinding. We grinding out here. You know. So, all right, I got Jay hitting me up on the line right now. Yeah. Today, man, we just gonna have a quick little 30-minute talk. If anybody want to join if anybody want to join, feel free to do so. Jump in the chat. Let me add you up on here, Jay. Yes, sir.
My God, what it is?
Man, all is well. All is well. How you feeling?
Good, man. Just like you were saying in your introductory message, man. Just grinding, man. Whenever you see the pinpoint collar dress shirt, I'm out here in the trenches and grinding.
Look. I'm in the mobile office. I guess.
Oh, listen, I see you, man, and I know you got a whole situation to jump into as soon as we done, man. So let's jump into it so we can shut this thing down, man, and get you into the next thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, one of the things that we were talking about, I guess this morning, we were talking about business. People who we see that's becoming new in the entrepreneurship space. Things that we kind of didn't know that we kind of figured out as we went along. Things to consider when starting your business.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think that's a great topic to have. There's a lot of nuances in starting a business, separate from just getting the paperwork and stuff like that or whatever. But we'll start. Let's take 30 seconds and start from the beginning. So, the first thing you want to do when starting a business is you want to figure out what kind of business, like how are you gonna form the business? Is the business going to be a limited liability corporation? Is it going to be a limited liability partnership, a C corp, a S corp, a sole proprietorship? Because of the time constraints, we'll revisit this in a future episode. But we won't get into the individual ones, but you want to understand how you want to form the business, what's most advantageous to you, and if there are any risks, what the risks are. And you want to register it. Like if you're uncomfortable with some of the questions, you can hire somebody or you can use a service. Like they've got some website services out there that'll process it for you. But that's the first step. The second part of it is you want to get your IRS EIN number, which is your business social security number. You can't live without it. And once you build your business to a certain point, your business is going to operate solely off of that number because people will look at your business credit and see how successful the business is. And, they're going to make the decision on whether or not to, invest or loan money on that particular EIN number. The next thing I would say is you want to figure out a marketing plan. And this is where I want to transition and bring you in, Rell, because to me, I feel like this is a personal opinion for a new startup business where the struggle comes is no marketing in advance. Like, so we got an idea, that's what we want to do. You might have asked some people, got proof of concept that you think it makes sense, but you have no marketing plan. So let me go to you because before you got into this lane, you were at one point in time, you even want to start a business consulting people on marketing. So you tell me.
Did. We actually did it.
We did, but I'll be specific. You were the guru of that venture from a social media perspective. So in your opinion, how serious do you feel like social media marketing is for a new and emerging business?
All right, so let's take it back to the beginning, right? And I can speak specifically to my main venture. When I guess with me, right? I guess being in the millennial space, I didn't want to go brick and mortar because I felt like, that costs too much. That's going to eat up a lot of my expenses, and I still don't have proof of concept that this business is going to jump off the ground running. So the next closest thing to reach a lot of people was social media. So boom, I create the social media, which that is something that I think you should create. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Man, get on social media. Number one, because it's free, and at the point of time, what, 7 years ago? We talk about 2014 when I started the company. Facebook and Instagram, the reach was so crazy, bro.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
that.
oh my God, the organic reach was crazy. Like, I really built my brand off of social media, not
That's a fact.
brick and mortar. I mean, obviously I've built a lot of relationships as well in the physical. But I built a lot of the awareness from social media, running Facebook ads, targeting a specific demographic that connects with my business. If it's in the special occasions, if it's weddings, if it's proms, and I think some of these older businesses, they now see it, but they were late to the party when I was on, and a bunch of other people on, a whole bunch of social media influencers and big time startup brands. Man, they were on social media running ads, products that was like $10, $15, $20, and they was running it up. They was making out. And then, when sometimes it might have died out and fizzled, and, they went to the next venture, but, they kicked up off of, running $1,000 ads, $2,000 ads that would probably yield in, 1,000% overtime or ROI. So yeah, definitely take social media serious. I think the space is a little bit more competitive now than what it was 7 years ago. And you got to spend a little bit more money when it comes to the reach. But I still think social media right now is the go-to when it comes to advertising. It's where all the eyes is. It's no longer the yellow pages. It's no longer the white pages. It's not the billboards. It's not that. Radio spots cost too much. TV spots cost too much. And even if you can afford it, you might receive a better ROI on social media. Trust
I
me,
agree.
I'm not going to say I lost money, but I invested money into radio spots, and everything like that. And it just didn't yield the type of return that a social media ad.
What a
It didn't.
yield.
It didn't. You said what is a yield?
No, I'm saying it didn't yield as much as what it would have yielded in other areas.
Yeah, man. So look, I even try SEO. SEO is good as well. But if you don't, I guess again, the best way. I'm not trying to down any of those other strategies. I'm just saying from my own personal experience, social media went a lot longer with my dollars, with my marketing dollars, than I paid somebody for SEO for 6 months, 6 months contract, and didn't get any clients out of it. Didn't. And I'm like,
Right.
man, this social media thing working for me. Should I continue this contract? And I said, no, I'm not going to continue the contract because I see something over here that's working, something over here that's not working. I'm kind of strapped for cash. I don't have millions in dollars to invest, in marketing. I got to make my money work for me the best way I can. So that's something to consider as well, guys. Definitely social media, maybe working with influencers within your realm as well. And that whole thing just goes around, social media, finding, finding people in your market that's doing well. Try to find out what they're doing well and try to, put your own sauce onto it. I mean, not completely steal their, their whole business model, but if it's something that you see that's working, look, try to make it work for you as well. Again, don't copyright it. don't flat out, do the exact same thing that they're doing. But if you notice, okay, look, I see that, let's say for instance, like me, right? I'm in the wedding industry, and if I notice this company is bringing in, and they're talking about, all these clients that they meeting and picking up, by doing wedding shows. I may want to look into wedding shows and say, okay, is wedding shows the wave that's gonna take my business to the next level? Is it wedding planners, building with wedding planners? Is it going on wedding websites like Wedding Wire or not? Man, but it's also a trial and error as well, bro. I know I'm rambling just on this one topic,
No, no, no,
but
no. I mean, you made some really good points, and to piggyback off of what you said. So,
yeah,
first off, I'll say like social media, it definitely matters, and that's a great space to be in. What I'll take it a step further and expand is I feel like you have to look at the trends, but keep your feet firmly planted. So what I mean is, like, if you remember, to take you back a little bit, back when you started your business, like Instagram was coming along, it was the photo spot, like it was emerging. You could see what was going to happen, and then Vine popped up, right? And there was a lot of people that was crickets. They wasn't getting no love on Instagram because there wasn't a video component yet, if you remember.
yep,
And then
yep,
they moved into Vine, right? And some of those people shut down their entire platform, got rid of the page, and was like, "Yo, I'm building a buzz on Vine. I'm gonna go over there." Right? Where the flaw in that was, they had an amazing run, not understanding that, IG and some of these bigger conglomerates are going to, like you said, they're going to do exactly what you said people should do in business. They're going to look at the technology that other people create and recreate it in a way that makes sense. And what they did was, if you remember, the niche of it was you could do a Vine, and I think it was like 15 seconds,
mm-hmm.
and like you could get your ish off, right? Like you could say
Yeah,
whatever, show whatever, do whatever. Then here comes Instagram with the 1 minute video.
yeah, I killed it.
And it like it was like now, so all of a sudden, people that didn't catch on with the Vine wave, who stayed in IG, was able to move their moves into the 1 minute video and take off instantly. And some of those people that moved their platform completely had to come to IG back from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
bringing them Vine numbers saying, "Yo, I was the man on Vine. Come follow me. I'm back here now."
Yeah,
So it's what I would say to your point, Rel. I'd say Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm gonna throw in for the more professional businesses. Not, I'd say for a lot of business, I'm gonna throw in LinkedIn as well.
yeah, LinkedIn, absolutely.
I feel like those are the big boys. Those are the NBA, NFL of social media. But you got to have your hand in other ones. So as we've seen since then, now we got TikTok coming, and
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's about to be one of the big boys. Now you had, Clubhouse has had their run, but at this point, the platforms have already stole their technology. So I feel like how you pivot is you keep your main base on the big boy platforms and then slowly grow a platform on the newer sites.
1000%.
And then you build up enough that if they die out or someone bigger recreates their idea, you can siphon the audience that you got from there. Like, man, it's dead over here now. Like, come bang with me. Prime example, if you look at
Hey,
Snapchat. Snapchat was the future. It was
snap.
over.
Yeah.
It was over, right? And then now, one conversation from Rihanna and some other complaints from other people, and like their whole brand died like that, right? So that's the first part. Second part, I want to expand on the term you used, which was proof of concept. So proof of concept is not, all right, if I sell chicken wings, right? Like I got a chicken wing business, I make real good wings, and I'm gonna get a food truck. If I'm cooking wings for my mom and my girl or whoever else in my family that love me, and they taste my wings and they like, these is great. That's not proof of concept,
Mm-hmm.
because the belief is that you're going to get a certain amount of built-in support from any business you start from those who you love. Might be friends, might be family, potentially.
Yeah.
Proof of concept is you have a product that you have went outside of your network to move and you're being receptive, like people are receiving it, that's proof of concept. A great example is a friend of mine that's also a client who I've helped consult on the side, had started a business, kind of like doing dinners out of her house, just kind of trying it out, and got really good reception. And she did it week after week after week for months and got such good reception and made so much money that was her proof of concept to say, okay, this now needs to advance from some side hustle making dinners in my house to now this is a catering business. So now I'm getting my vendor's license. I'm licensing and opening up and forming a new business. I'm getting my accounts because I want to make sure I can manage the money that I'm budgeting for my product I buy, to do my catering orders or whatever. But she waited until she had proof of concept, because if she would have sold dinners twice and it was crickets and people said her food was trash, you could have saved thousands of dollars that you may have needed to invest in yourself because you're like, nah, man, maybe this ain't the space for me. So you want to get proof of concept in advance so that you can put yourself out there and give yourself the best opportunity to be successful.
1,000.
Um, so let me ask you this. In your experience, being out here since 2014, what do you feel like is the biggest flaw in new businesses that don't allow them to survive the long haul? And when I say the long haul, a lot of new businesses die within the first 12 to 24 months. Why do you feel like that is?
Mm. A couple things, and it's just my opinion, personal opinion. Um, Lack of proof of concept. That's one of them. Um, Giving up too quick. I think that's a big one. Um, Lack of resources.
Mm.
In order to have a profitable, or not even profitable, because a lot of people don't know that it's $1 million companies out here that's not profitable. They're just
Mm-hmm.
making revenue. So the revenue keeps them afloat, and maybe one day when they sell it, they'll become profitable. That's a whole nother
Oh
topic for a
yeah,
whole
that's
nother show.
yeah. That's a whole
A
bag that
whole
we can get
day.
in. Right, right,
We
right.
will say that for another day. But yeah, lack of resources, lack of money. Um, you know, I would think those are the main things. And that's just my personal opinion. Um, but yeah, bro, I think the biggest one is giving up too quick. That's one of the that's probably like the top three for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say, and what's funny is I think proof of concept and giving up too quick go hand in hand. I think when you start a business without having proof of concept in advance, you give up too quick because you don't see success that you fictitiously envision in your mind.
Hmm.
Like if you researched and you looked to try to have proof of concept in advance, you would have known before you even launched that venture that this ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So you never make it to that point. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it goes hand in hand. I'll also say people don't understand from the viewpoint of social media that it takes time to build a successful and viable business. Like
That
I think certain people get
in time.
confused, bro.
Yeah.
Like certain people get confused and what they end up forgetting is like, so when you start a business and you get proof of concept, that's fine. You gotta, like, branding then becomes a thing because you want to plant yourself in people's mind that when they think about whatever sector your business is in, they think about you.
Hmm.
Like it took, like, when I was a kid talking about branding, like Kentucky Fried Chicken spent a gajillion dollars to put Colonel Sanders on TV. Every 5 minutes, Colonel Sanders, Colonel Sanders, Colonel Sanders, Colonel Sanders. All of that is planting the brand in your mind.
Hmm.
The other side of it, and this is me personally touching on it, I think when we start businesses, or I'm sorry, when we start hobbies that are successful, we think we can turn a successful hobby into a successful business. But there's certain steps in the middle that we miss, right? So we we jump off the porch and think that, okay, I'm gonna print these T-shirts up and I'm gonna sell them, and I got a brand. Okay, sell them out the trunk. Everything works. It's cool. No, it's a whole different animal. Because then when you try to become a clothing brand, you can't be a clothing brand and your brand is, Joe Blow LLC. And when I order your shirt online, the tag say Hanes. Like that's not a brand. Like I didn't
But
wait, like
no slight to anybody that's doing that. That's probably the standard when you're starting off. And if you got Hanes on your joints or Gildan on your joints, man, no, this is not a slight. This is not.
no. Let's be factual.
Um,
I did this in trying to test proof of concept something myself. So I ain't
right.
gonna speak on nothing I ain't lived through.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
But
I'm just putting clarification out there. That's
but
all.
but
That's all.
to put clarity out there, I'm not shading anybody, but what I'm saying, but the point that I am trying to drive home is that we get frustrated because even in our culture, right? People will take to a successful hobby before they take to a successful business. You're trying to make something of yourself. That's cool. You're trying to get somewhere. I want to support that. I want to rock that. Cool. Build a brand and start a business and let it change your financial situation and your financial standing and who you are. And some of that organic support you got when it was a hobby will disappear. My personal opinion, only the thoughts of me. So that's where branding and marketing and stuff like that comes in, because as a hobby, I know enough people that if I start a hobby on the side, I can make a couple of dollars from my hobby,
Yeah.
right? But a business, I've got to have a formalized plan where I can bring in consumers who don't know me to get them to buy my product. And I think the frustrating part is when you open up social media, right? People make it seem like you'll be on somebody's page and it'll be like, man, 2 years ago, I had 200 followers. I barely had $100 in the bank. I was dead broke. Now I got 1 million followers. My business is up. You know what I mean? I did $1 million in orders last month. So it makes you become discouraged. But that's because you got to do your due diligence to look at what's going on with people. Like I'll use, the rap industry, for example. Some of the greatest artists that we love in that culture, right, that was successful, they had many years of being unsuccessful.
Tons.
We just don't talk about it as a culture. Like we don't discuss it.
They
Like,
were they
like
they, they, they were branding themselves before they got on.
I mean, like, it's funny. We talked about it in a different interview that we had, but Cameron did the drink chants with Nori and EFN, and he talked about how when he was real young, Hove had like paid to open up for Redman and Method Man. Like,
Yeah.
yo, let me pay a couple dollars, put me on or whatever. And at this point, it was so funny because in 2021, you could not imagine Hove paying somebody for a 10-minute slot to please let me get my 2 or 3 tracks off real quick.
Yeah.
But there was a whole phase when, like, dude couldn't even get a deal.
Mm-hmm. He couldn't.
Where he was
That's
self-funding.
why him and Dame put together that whole mission because he couldn't get a deal.
That's a fact. And they were self-funding. But I think, to be fair to people, social media has eliminated the come up aspect of the story. So when you open your phone and you jump on somebody's live, you like, oh my God, yo, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he like Lenny Logic was good.
Yo,
It,
appreciate it.
it's like when you see the story, you like, man, dude said he was broke last night. He made 100 million this morning. I ain't working. Not knowing that this dude that slept in his car, ain't had nowhere to live. And then what ends up happening is once the person is filthy rich, they come back, put together a little program, do an interview or podcast, and they're like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I failed 37 times in 25 years until I hit my first lick. And then you're like, come on, man. Like this whole time I'm killing myself thinking people out here outworking me. Dude took longer than me to get on.
Yep.
So it's just putting together a formalized plan, My next question for you before we come up against it, bro, is in your mind, what's one thing that you didn't know in 2016 when you launched that you know now that if you could talk to an emerging entrepreneur, you would say, hey, I walked through this fire and got burnt because I
Hmm.
didn't know. You need to be on top of this now before you jump off the porch and do what you're gonna do.
Interesting one, man. I'm gonna say the biggest one: keep the faith. Keep the faith,
Mm,
man. I think that I mean, I get the two mixed up between faith and belief, but I- somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but faith is believing in something that you cannot see.
yep.
It's along the lines of that, guys. Look, I know y'all
Right.
going wrong. Um, and yeah, I had the proof of concept. For me personally, again, just speaking. Um, when I launched in 2014, I've already been in that industry for 8 years, so I had the proof of concept. However, when things happened that I couldn't control, like cars, losing cars getting totaled, no clients, losing money. Um, that my I wanted to quit. It wasn't no Les Brown said you gotta stay hungry, you gotta keep going,
Right.
bro. Like if it wasn't for I would say my mom's and my wife and just saying like, yo, you just gotta keep going, you just gotta keep going. I wasn't even listening to the audios on a daily basis at that time. Um, but yeah, you gotta keep the faith for something that you really, really, really believe in that you're trying to make happen. But also along the lines of that, you gotta know that it's probably going to take longer than what you expect.
Mm.
Um, we me and you, we did a lot of business in the past. And it's like, yeah, give us 5 years. Give us 5 years. Bro, it's 5 years past. I mean, granted, yeah, we in a great position, right? We in a great position. Um, but sure, we thought we'd be like billionaires now, right? Let's keep it all the way real, right? Like, yo, I mean, we did some great things. We made tons of money. We made great money. But we thought we were gonna be like on top of the top of the top of the world. And I'm like, man, just really being a full-time entrepreneur now, 7 years in, I'm like, bro, yeah, I'm good. But now I understand that it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Your first year is going to be the hard. Your first couple years is going to be the hardest. You just got to stick through it. Um, and also, as you go along, it gets easier. As you go along and you continue to build, it gets easier because you start to build traction. And that traction, man, it helps weave out. It helps, I guess, weave out the times where you were going through like your first and second year and you thought it wasn't going to make it. That traction, like, okay, cool. I got a nice little pipeline of clients that's coming in. Boom. They might keep me afloat. They're gonna keep the business going. I'm not gonna go under. Granted, I'm not at my pinnacle of where I want to be, um, but I got this steady traction going on. I'm building an okay brand. So that's my top three things, man. Keep the faith. Um, know that it's going to take probably longer than what you expect. Um, really, that's my top two things, man. Just keep going. Just keep going. Never give up.
Got you. And I want to piggyback off of that and kind of sort of respond, and we'll use this as our point before we close out here shortly. Um, so to that, first I would say, we both God fearing men or whatever. We got a walk that we choose. I'm not here to project my walk or my beliefs on anybody else. What I would say, because there are people out here that don't believe in the concept of faith or whatever. So to provide an option for you, if that's who you are, you got to stand on the data, right? So if you have to have something conceptualized, the idea of a higher power isn't for you. You got to stand on the data. You got to collect enough data prior to jumping out there with whatever your idea that says, I have an analytical belief based off of the numbers that I have a real chance of being successful. And then I think the other side of it is, I think as I've gotten older, I realized that our mentality was a gift and a curse. I think you talked about the curse portion of it, which is valid. But I think the gift of it was the success we had is because we were chasing that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that ties in, well, again, what we talked about earlier, that hunger gives you sometimes the competitive edge, over people that's in your space as well, because you're so hungry. You coming up from the mud, you coming up from the bottom, that you're not taking no type of losses. I'm running through everything. Oh, this person
Right.
said for the sponsorship. Okay, cool. I'm gonna head down the street and go to that competitor and see if that competitor want to mess with me. And
It's a fact.
bro, that hunger, bro, that hunger, man, that's gotta stay hungry, guys. Gotta stay hungry.
Yeah, you
My bad,
definitely got to.
bro. My bad.
No, I was gonna say you got to stay hungry, but I think also you got to move. You got to move the goalposts on yourself, and you gotta take a shoot for the moon and fall on the stars kind of approach. So if you're starting, okay, if you are a chef and you're starting your private chef business or whatever the case may be, right? In my opinion, Emeril Lagasse, Guy Fieri, Bobby Flay, that's got to be your mental comp.
Mm-hmm.
5-star Michelin chefs got to be your mental comp. You may not
Yep.
be anywhere near that range, but they got to be your comp. And what's going to happen is, at the end of the day, you may not end up being them, but you're going to have destroyed the expectations that the natural world and consumers around you had for you.
1,000%.
Because you keep moving the goalposts on yourself. So you don't want to. I think where we kind of have gone wrong is that we overanalyze it. So we know where we are, and we don't have that complacency in us. So the second that one thing positive happens, it's like, oh, let me take a shot. Oh, this is good. Okay, I hit this goal, but that means I ain't hit that goal. All right, I can't be happy no more. Back to work.
Yep.
Right. So I'm not gonna. I know what that does to you. I'm not gonna project that on anybody. What I'll say is just create mental competition for yourself, and not in a jealous way, but you just want to continue to strive. And that's not even just in business. That's in every area in your life. If you go on vacation, you recently been on a vacation. It was amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your vacation, because I haven't had one in forever, has now been my standard. So my next vacation has to either be equal or better, or I'm not going. And I don't have to do that. And it's not about, I'm not using you like in a jealous competition way, but the purpose of it is just to say, you got to create levels in your life to keep moving. If you achieve one goal, you got to say, hey, this is great. But if I'm blessed to be able to do this again, I want to be able to cross this threshold.
Yep.
So I think this was a good conversation, my guy. We got some roundtable stuff coming up in the future where we'll be able to dive deeper into some of these thoughts and then get the thoughts of other entrepreneurs in terms of their journey and where they stood. But I think it was a good conversation, and we just wanted to talk to you guys, y'all, and just kind of take a step back. We get into a lot of high level business kind of things, but somebody seeing this may just be in the space of, I think I got an idea, I think it might work, but I don't want to fall on my face. Who does? How do I go about making the best, most educated decision? So I think it was a worthwhile conversation, my guy. Give me your thoughts. Close this out, man.
You know, damn, we only got 1 minute, man. I was about to piggyback on that.
Nah. We'll pick it up another time, man. We'll pick it up.
All right. So let me get this off. Can I get this off? Can I get
Yeah,
this
get
off?
it. Listen. I'm with it. I got the time.
All right. The falling on your face thing, man. Certain people, if you're not cut from that cloth, if you fall on your face, that might destroy you. You might not even want to jump out there again. For certain people, that fall on your face turns into a lesson where you like, okay, I failed. I ain't really failed. I'm just learning from it, and I'm gonna move on. And I know not to put my hand on the fire no more because I know where it's going to lead me to. So if anybody's out there thinking that they don't want to jump off the porch because they are afraid to fail, man, take a read to Think and Grow Rich and see and read the stories of how many people who failed that became mega stars, like super successful. Take some time out and check that out, man. Because everybody who's at the top, they did not get there without any failures, without falling on their face a couple times. So that's just my piggyback, man.
All right, my 30 seconds on that. I agree 100%. I tried to give the more politically correct other side of it, and I get that some people don't want to fail. Now I'm just gonna be transparent. Failure is a part of it. You want to win, you got to fail.
You're gonna not gonna say fail. You're gonna fall. It's up to you if you get up or not.
But there's a level of failure too. It might be a micro failure. You might try something. You talked about it earlier. You talked about spending money in money areas and being like, not necessarily that was a bad investment, but I got to direct my money another way. My plan for this did not work the way I wanted it to work, and you moved into social media. That could be qualified as a failure.
Oh man, that was a fail. I lost. Goodness, I was looking at the balance sheet at the time, like I spent how much, and I didn't get back anything, except a little bit of branding and some space that people maybe knew about me at the time that forgot about me after after a week or so. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody takes it. Listen, everybody takes L's. It happens, and trust me. And some of the people you look up to, if they opened up their financials and their books, and you see the difference between revenues and profit, there's some failure in between the difference. But we'll reserve that for another conversation.
Yeah, big facts, man. It's all a part of the game, man. All a part of the game, and man, you can. I mean, you can do it. You can do it, man. Those are my last words. If you strongly feel good about something, at least give it a try, man. Give it a shot. You never know where it's going to lead you to.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Good convo, my guy.
Sure, as always.
Shut us down, close us out, man, and we'll revisit this conversation again.
Yeah, man. So I'm not going to leave any last words because the last words tend to have us going for like another 10 minutes. So I'm going to close this out by saying, this is Carshel Rell, a.k.a., Rell Purnell. And also Jay Hall. We're here at Network. It's my network. This is where we talk about entrepreneurship, ups and downs, failures, wins, losses, stories, and it all. And, we going to get down to the nitty gritty of what people technically don't talk about in the entrepreneur space, in the small business space, in the big business space as well. But thank you guys for rocking with us, for this episode tonight. And so always say, stay positive, stay motivated. Salute.